Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over an interesting topic of where do the Republicans do better and do worse when Donald Trump is the presidential nominee. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through the states on the electoral map and fill them in between safe Republican states, Democratic states, battleground states, and then after I show which states are the battlegrounds, I'm going to go through which states I think benefit the Democrats and the Republicans when Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. So first things first, I'm just going to go through here, let me lock it so it doesn't move on everyone. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to mark the states safe that I think whether Trump's the nominee or not, it doesn't have too much of a drastic swing from how they would normally be voting. This doesn't mean that Trump being on the ticket doesn't help or hurt them, but I think it would still probably go one way or the other no matter what. I think 2016 showed it benefited Trump a little bit, but Maine at large will probably still be in the Democratic column. Illinois as well. I think this is about it for the Democrats. Now, Republicans have some states that I'm going to put Utah in the Republican column. It did get closer, but I don't think it really changed all that much. Obviously, we have some improvement in some of these states, but again, same thing goes. So, Republicans have 125, Democrats have 183. So I'm going to go through all the states and put them in gray and battleground. These states are states that I think Donald Trump being on the ticket either significantly helps or hurts the Republicans' chances at winning these states. So, first things first, we'll go with the state of Colorado. I think Colorado is definitely benefited by Donald Trump being on the ticket. I mean, no question about it. Colorado has trended Democrat in recent presidential elections, but it voted for Barack Obama over Mitt Romney by about 4%. And then I'm pretty sure Donald Trump lost it this time around by about 10% or a little under. That is not good. And Donald Trump being on the ticket, I think, definitely has at least a pretty big part of it. New Mexico, actually, I'm going to put in safe. I don't really think it's going to have too much of a factor, to be completely honest with you. Now, Democrats benefit in the state of next. I'll do this one next. Virginia benefits when Donald Trump is on the ticket. Virginia is a state that used to be a very traditional swing state, and then in the 2000s, as a population growth occurred in the northern DC suburbs, Virginia started to turn purple and then eventually turn blue. However, Virginia, even at its heart with the massive turnout in the DC suburbs, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 10%. And I've seen two polls come up for the governor's race where Glenn Youngkin is only down by about 4% and 5% respectively. So, it's not, a Republican is not usually doing 9 or 10 points bad unless they are Donald Trump or heavily support Donald Trump. The governor's race in 2017 showed that as well, where Ed Gillespie lost by 9 points, but in 2014 when he ran as himself and not having to worry about Donald Trump, he was only to lose by less than 1%. So, Virginia definitely benefits Democrats when Donald Trump is on the ticket. The state of Minnesota, I'm actually going to put it as Democrat because it did benefit when Trump was on the ticket in 2016, but then in 2020 it kind of flipped back to its strong Democratic tendencies. So I don't know if it makes too much of a difference. Next, we have Democrats benefit in the state of Arizona. This is a no-brainer. Arizona is a swing state, and Republicans were winning the state solidly. McCain won it in 2008, Romney won it in 2012, very, very big margins. In 2016, President Trump only won it by about 3% or so. And then in 2020, the state flipped to Joe Biden. Without a doubt, Donald Trump being on the ticket definitely hurts Republicans' chances in the state of Arizona. No question about it. Now we're going to go to some states that do benefit Donald Trump. The state of Iowa and the state of Ohio. These two states are definitely helped by Donald Trump being on the ticket. These are two states that voted for Barack Obama twice. I believe George Bush won Iowa once and Ohio twice, I believe. But either way, these two states are very much solid Republican states now because Donald Trump was able to get a lot of the working class appeal in these two states and bring them over to his column. And a typical Republican candidate that's not Trump, I don't think does as well as him in these states. The all-important Rust Belt states. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania are all benefiting from Donald Trump being on the ticket. All three of these states did not go Republican since Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. So, Donald Trump being the first Republican to win all three, this definitely is a benefiting him. And even in 2020, where Donald Trump did lose all three of these states, these were much closer than the polls suggested. Some polls had Joe Biden up by 8 or 9%. One poll had him up by 17, although I think most people will agree that was a fluke poll. But yeah, Donald Trump lost the Rust Belt on average by under 2% in 2020. So it's pretty clear Donald Trump being on the ticket makes these Rust Belt states closer for Republicans. Now, one state that I think is hurt by Donald Trump is the state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire, Donald Trump almost won it in 2016, but you have to remember, it was 46% to 46%. So there was a big plurality of the votes still out there. And then what happened in 2020 was that plurality, third party, wasn't there. It was either Trump or Biden, and the state went 52-45, basically 52-46 for Biden. So Donald Trump did not gain any support in New Hampshire. If anything, he lost support. New Hampshire is a state that is hard to win at the nationwide level, but a good Republican candidate who does not have super Trump-like extreme policies in the views of New Hampshire. What I'm trying to say is New Hampshire voters are very independent-minded thinking. They typically like the candidates that are more moderate, centrist, and in some eyes reasonable, and Donald Trump is not that. However, Maine's 2nd District is absolutely benefited by Donald Trump. Donald Trump definitely helps out in the state of Maine, especially in the 2nd District, because Donald Trump was able to win the district, similar to Ohio and Iowa, bringing out the working class support and appeal that Donald Trump has. Now, a state that is hurt by Donald Trump is the state of Texas. Texas is a Republican state and has been for a very long time, but this state is closely becoming a swing state, and Donald Trump definitely sped that process up, no question about it. Mitt Romney won it by about 15 points. Donald Trump won it in 2016, I believe, by about 7 or 8 points, and Donald Trump only won it in 2020 by about 4 or 5. So, Texas is getting much closer. I don't think Donald Trump being on the ticket necessarily helps that state stay in the Republican column. Donald Trump certainly benefits the state of Florida. Donald Trump made Florida his home state. It was pretty much his home, if not second home state. Florida and Republicans and Donald Trump benefit by Donald Trump being on the ticket in the state of Florida, no question. Now, 3 states remaining: Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina. The first state, Georgia, no question. Georgia benefits from Donald Trump being on the ticket for the Democrats. We saw this because Donald Trump only won Georgia by about 3% in 2016, and then the Democrats won the state of Georgia in 2020 with Joe Biden winning the state. A Republican losing the state of Georgia 10 years ago was almost inconceivable. This was not something that was going to happen. But it did happen. Donald Trump lost the state of Georgia, and you can't make the argument that Donald Trump makes Republicans do better in Georgia considering he lost the state. Not to mention, I'm not saying it's all his fault, but everything that happened with the Republican Party infighting in the state of Georgia, I mean, that is in direct result to what Donald Trump did and what Donald Trump said. So there's no question about that. Republicans now will do better in another state because of Donald Trump. That will be the state of Nevada. Nevada has been consistently getting closer since Donald Trump started running. Mitt Romney lost the state by 5. Donald Trump lost the state in 2016 by 3. Donald Trump lost the state to Joe Biden in 2020 by 2. The state is getting closer, and Donald Trump being on the ticket certainly helps out the Republicans, no question. Lastly, the state of North Carolina. I left North Carolina for last because this state, you can honestly make an argument either way. The state was close in 2012. The state was very close in 2008. Donald Trump was able to win it both times. However, he didn't win it by the biggest of margins. But he did win it both times nonetheless. He was able to pull it off. But he did win it by smaller than he did in 2016 and smaller than Mitt Romney did in 2012. So, North Carolina is an interesting state that gained an electoral vote. So, you really could go either way. And I'm thinking of just leaving it as a battleground because there isn't one definitive side. You could say Donald Trump benefits or hurts in North Carolina. But I'm going to do that for now. Democrats benefit 94 electoral votes, most notably in Texas, Georgia, and Arizona. Those are the big 3 Republicans usually win that Republicans can't now. Republicans, I have them benefiting at 104. Most notably the Rust Belt, Florida, and Nevada, all swing states that Republicans are probably going to need to win as time goes on if Georgia, Arizona, and Texas may be flipping to the Democratic side. North Carolina, again, going to leave battleground, but Democrats can do better, Republicans can do better. The jury is still kind of out on that one. But I think it's pretty clear to see Donald Trump being on the top of the ticket for Republicans certainly has its benefits and its hurts and its problems. Republicans will do better in the new Democratic states that are now swing states, like the Rust Belt, but will do worse in the traditional Republican swing states, like Arizona, Texas, and Georgia. So, I think you could argue Donald Trump does better as a Republican nominee, but you could also argue he does worse if you put North Carolina in the column of the Democrats. Their Democrats benefit. Oh, I also forgot Nebraska 2nd District. Joe Biden and the Democrats definitely benefit from Trumping on the ticket there, no question. But you could argue Democrats, if they do better in North Carolina when Trump's on the ticket, that the Democrats are benefiting from Trumping on the ticket. If you want to argue that Trump does better in North Carolina, then you can argue Trump benefits any other Republican, which is why I think we can go back and forth, so I'm going to leave it as a toss-up. But split map, very, very interesting. Leave a comment below telling me what you think of this map. Also, leave a comment below telling me if you think I misread any of these states. I think I got it pretty much right, but if you have any disagreement, leave a comment below, tell me what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if this is the first time checking out one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.